Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Rage and Love, where we passionately debate, explore, and review topics of religion, science, history, and current events. And we certainly have a lot of current events to cover. I'm your host AJ, and this is my co-host Joey. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, we have a show for everybody tonight because, yeah, as AJ stated, there's been so much going on in the last couple of days here. Um, and I think it's really good that we're going to discuss all of this and try to figure out a way to have a open conversation about it without too much anger.
Too much anger. That's about right. So before I bring our guests up, and before we begin the discussion, I want to make one thing absolutely clear that humanism is all about respecting human rights and not causing harm. So humanists reject violence. No one should be killed for their beliefs, no matter how hateful. We can't really resort to violence to solve problems. We know that it's a fact that Charlie Kirk was hateful. All right, he held horrible ideas. He used his platform to actively spread hate. He had blood on his hands because of that hate that he spewed. We do not deny that at all. But just like we advocate for immigrants to get due process, Charlie Kirk had a right to due process. Horrible people that commit unspeakable crimes still have a right to due process in order to give them the punishment that can fit the crime. So, vigilante justice is never justice. And we can confidently say that Charlie Kirk was murdered. Now, I know that a lot of people might disagree with the following statement, but I personally don't think that violence solves violence. Like, hate doesn't erase hate. As Martin Luther King beautifully put it, from a humanist perspective, hatred paralyzes life, love releases it. Hatred confuses life, love harmonizes it. Hatred darkens life, love illuminates it. I have decided to stick to love. Hate is too great of a burden to bear. So that was his quote, and I agree with it. But tonight, what concerns us is not the violence itself, but the way that it has been spun and distorted in this public sphere. Because within hours of the news of Charlie's shooting break-in, conservatives rushed to blame trans people. They called for the harshest punishments, including death penalty, before knowing any facts, before a suspect was even in custody. And once it became clear that the shooter was not trans, not a leftist, not radicalized by a college professor, but instead a right wing Christian nationalist tied to extremist dark networks in the web like Nick Fuentes, that tone changed to sympathy, thoughts, and prayers. So this double standard reveals their hypocrisy. And to discuss that today, we have Rogue Show and Damien. Hello, guys.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Ew.
Hey,
Uh, so we have so much to talk about, right? Um, what was your very first reactions to the shooting?
Who do you want to answer first? Because I mean, I guess I'll go since I already started talking. But yeah, my first reaction to it was I knew that all the progress that we've been working on for this past year in terms of protesting against the Trump administration and pushing back against Christian nationalism peacefully. I've been to 3 or 4 protests this year. They've all been filled with a great message, very peaceful, no rioting, no type of violence, just using our voices. And then for one individual to come and commit an act like this, I knew that the repercussion from the right was going to be to blame the liberals. and it was going to give them the ability to push their agenda further, as labeling anyone who is against uh, any of the policies or any of the just language that the Trump administration pushes was going to be labeled as the issue or the problem. And I was sad about that because I could see that we were getting somewhere. We were pushing back against the Trump administration, without having to use violence, and we were reaching people. We were getting the message across, and then I just felt like everything had just been flushed down the drain.
Yeah, who wants to go next? Roadshow, maybe. What are you thinking? What was your
Um,
very first reaction?
I my very first reaction was, I think, is this a joke? I
Is
did
there?
not. Yeah, I had no fucking idea. Or I had. I'm sorry. I
That's all right.
I'll let Dave. I'll let you David go first. Now, I'll be back.
Okay, no worries, Rogue Show.
Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty angry about it. Like the right wing news stated, I thought it was a liberal too. I was like, oh man, I was scared.
We
Like
ruined our
Joseph,
own.
yeah, like Joseph said, I felt like all the hard work, all the peaceful protests just went to waste with that. But ended up not being a liberal, so there's good news to the movement. So,
Yeah,
but I
unfortunately, like even their actions, um, even though it wasn't a liberal, is harming, as Joe said, like it's harming all the efforts that we made because no matter what the facts are, they're still blaming the liberals somehow. No, they
yeah,
just
that's right.
type like mental gymnastics, what like we
Mm,
call it, right? Mental
yeah,
gymnastics to make it seem like somehow it was a liberal. Maybe he got radicalized by the college liberal college professor. Okay, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. So, we were talking about what was your very first reaction? Yeah, like you thought it was a joke. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it
that's
was a
pretty
joke.
fair.
I thought it was a joke because, like, I saw the notification from one of my political streamers I watch, Xander Xander Hall, by the way. Um, and like, okay, is that a joke? Because I know they love to. I know everybody loves the meme on Charlie Kirk. And then on September 11th, uh, I heard the conservatives talking about it, and I was like, it's no longer. Oh, he actually got shot, and I guess I guess my big, I guess my reaction was I kind of, I kind of don't care because, or I kind of desensitized because they have already, they're obviously gonna blame the left for everything. They're
Hmm.
obviously going to, and when I guess the conservative that my boss was listening to during the job, um, I don't know, it's just weapon. I don't know. I just knew right away that they're obviously going to weaponize Charlie Kirk's death against the
Yeah.
left. They did it. Remember last stream, uh, when those planes crashed. Guess what? They weaponized their deaths for weaponized their deaths against DEI.
Yeah,
And
it's interesting because like it's true they weaponized it. Like from the beginning, they were like, it was the liberals, just like Eli Slack just commented that for them it wasn't a liberal, it was all the liberals.
The
All the
liberals,
liberals like
yeah,
conspired together to have this one kill Charlie Kirk. And when it turned out that that wasn't the case, they twisted the story to, oh, let's focus on their response, let's focus on how they're not
They're
you
not
know,
mourning. They're not being respectful. They're
correctly.
not sad about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not taking this how we are. But there's difference there. That's you can't mourn somebody that you didn't connect with. I mean, I don't know. That whole I really like how you said how they flipped it, to push that narrative because
to
it's
still
true.
make it about the liberals. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
still a way of still
But
making it about the
the
liberals.
hypocrisy on that, what they're doing though, okay, um, they're Charlie Kirk was assassinated because they say that was taking away his freedom of speech, or it's putting freedom of speech at risk because you're assassinating somebody you don't agree with, and you're trying to shut up their talking points or stop their talking points and keep them from spreading their thought or their voice. But they're doing the same thing whenever they're trying to keep people from saying, that maybe he did have some views that they didn't agree with, or if he said this one specific thing against, this group of people, and that's why they didn't support him. And they're trying to keep people from being able to do that, which is when you get to that point, you're getting into a very, very scary territory under government obedience.
Right, because they are defending Charlie Kirk's, ability to be able to express his freedom of speech, meanwhile not respecting the people that didn't feel like they needed to warn him and their freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring up an example too. Just a quick example, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so at UT there was a student. She was protesting for Palestine, and they took her student visa. So
Just recently, right? I think I saw the story on that.
a couple months back,
Okay, okay.
But yeah.
What do you think, AJ?
Oh, about that specific,
Yeah.
uh, I'm not sure if I heard about that story. I did hear about another story. There was a Palestinian student, uh, but this was a male, so I don't think it was the same case where he was he hadn't even protested in several years, but they deported him and took his visa because he had once, maybe like 4 or 5 years before, protested for Palestine. So they're definitely targeting people just for expressing their freedom of speech. They weren't even doing any type of violent protesting. It was just speaking up.
Yeah. This sort of thing, and this sort of thing has been this whole shutting down. This whole they're trying to shut down free speech is it's obviously it's obviously it's obviously hypocritical and also wrong. I leftists a leftist like me, a leftist like me, and other leftists really really kind of don't give a fuck. I really kind of don't give a fuck. Like Charlie Kirk's wrong. Like we are kind of don't give a fuck about Sorry.
You're okay, man. Just take your time.
Yeah, we don't like. Sure, we don't like. We obviously do not like what he says, and what he says is stupid and wrong and evil. But he had the fucking. We recognize that he has the right to say it, and also, and also, even if they don't, even if they like take, it's not even just taking things away from you, like your student visa, that Republicans will do. That Republicans will do to silence silence people. If you've or if you've watched or if you read the news and stuff for the past couple months, uh, protesters have been beaten, they've been killed, they've been run over, they've been shot. Just for this just for saying we don't want any king. We don't want a fucking king. Come on now.
Well,
It-
no, go ahead.
Yeah. And yeah, that's all I have to say. It's just disgusting. It's hypocritical.
I was just going to continue on that point. So I mean, it's so true. I mean, that's on my opening statement when she asked me how I felt when I saw that he had been shot. Um, I knew that they would be able to use that narrative, especially if he passed, because they'd already been pushing so hard, to militarize, sending in the National Guard into cities, and the takeover of Washington D.C. And they'd already been spewing rhetoric about anyone who protesters or anyone who disagreed with a lot of the policies that basically labeling us as bad people. So this just extended that. It let it go. It gave them the nuclear option, basically. I mean, it just intensified their ability to push that message, and that's what worries me the most. But I think it's very important that people understand that you can't let them make you feel like you're going to we can't let them push this agenda to punish people for speaking their mind. Yes, people that are calling for violent actions, those type of people, yes, should be put on a list or whatever they want to do with that. But people who are just speaking against some of the views that Charlie Kirk held, to be able to say you're going to prosecute somebody for that, or you're going to put them in a database that they've been creating, where people can just take a screenshot of what you posted on social media and submit it, and they're making a database for people to be able to search that and to blast workers and business owners for not agreeing with the same perspective or view on a person. That's scary.
Yeah, like if I have, I don't know, a parent who abuses you, right, and they die, you're not required to mourn that person. Like you're not gonna go out and celebrate, but at the same time, you're not required to feel bad or to feel sad or to feel mournful. Like you don't have to grieve that. You can say, hey, this was a harmful person, they hurt me. That's it. Like you're expressing your freedom of speech.
And
Oh
when
yeah.
people were talking, oh no, I'm sorry, Rogue Show. Let me
Great.
say one thing real quick. I was gonna say, so when people argue that some of those horrible beliefs that were repeated through Charlie Kirk, are some of the horrible beliefs that were pushed through some of the things he said, do they not realize that words have actions or consequences? So like things that he say affects real lives. I mean, so people, you know, some of the words that he speaks pushes policy, and that policy affects real lives. And I think people are not seeing that connect. It's like a disconnect there. Do y'all follow me on
Yeah.
that, or am I not making sense? I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like say if you have um let's say legislation that
Yeah, hold on a
prevents.
second. There is some feedback coming. It's like,
Okay, I thought it was just me. Maybe I think it might be what we usually have the issue of. Yeah, I had like an echo earlier of my own voice.
let's try this real quick. Damien, mute your mic real quick, and let me see if I can hear me. Um,
Yeah, maybe it's roadshow.
Roadshow,
Roadshow, mute
can
your
you
mic
mute your
for a
mic real
sec.
quick?
Usually.
Okay, yeah. Looks like it's Roadshow's mic. Maybe if you can turn down. You're not using headphones or anything, right? It's just the audio coming straight out of your laptop.
That's coming straight out of my phone.
Oh, it's with your phone. Okay, it's picking up the sound. That's an issue because I do hear it as well.
Yeah, he's probably getting his headphones.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Let's see if he can change that out and we can make the sound better
Okay.
because we
And this
appreciate
happened.
everybody.
Okay. we always run into some kind of technical difficulty in these shows. It's live, so we just roll with the punches.
Yeah, it looks like we got quite a few people hanging out with us this evening. Appreciate everybody because there's a lot of shows going on tonight from what AJ told me.
Yeah, misinterpretations is on. Free Thinkers Fireside was on. The Line. Dave from Captive Desk.
So if y'all hop in and out, we understand.
Yeah. Okay, I think I still hear it.
So, is it there? You still hear it?
Yeah, no, I still hear the feedback. Oh, there it goes. Now, no, I still hear it. I'm not
Okay,
sure
I guess
why we're getting that.
I'm trying to fix my. I guess I'm trying to fix my audio.
Okay, I think
I
that
just
was
want.
that.
I wanted to
I think
say,
you stopped, right? Maybe.
No.
Okay, no, it didn't. So you might have to just mute
okay, I
yourself
want.
while you're not speaking, if that's okay.
Yeah, if you could just mute your mic until you're talking, and we should be okay.
Okay, so what I wanted to say earlier is that another one of my reactions. What the? What the hell?
Rogue show.
Yeah, it's a little choppy. Okay, we hear you, kind of.
Oh my god!
He's gone rogue.
He's gone rogue. He's gone rogue during the show.
That's funny. Perfect name. Living up to his title.
All right, so let's let him try to do that, and let's continue the conversation.
Okay, so yeah, I completely forgot what part we were at even.
We were
So
just.
might
I
have
think I
to-
had mentioned just about how there's a disconnect between people understanding that
Oh, yeah.
policies affect real lives, and those policies are pushed by speakers, podcasters, people similar to Charlie Kirk, and
Yeah, okay.
they have sway over agenda.
I remember that. Okay, so one example would be like if we have legislation that prevents children from getting food stamps, right, or getting any type of assistance, where let's say food pantries that I don't know for whatever reason the government decides to take away food pantries, and then you have children that go to bed hungry. They don't have the parents don't have enough funds to feed them more than one meal a day. Eventually, those kids can and do die from starvation. So while it wasn't a direct attack where somebody shot the kid, their actions, which helped pass those legislations, which helped make sure that the kid didn't get the meals that they needed, caused them harm, caused them to pass away from that indirect action. So like, yeah, you have to think that's kind of the same way. Charlie Kirk advocated for so many horrible things. One of them was taking away rights of pregnant women or transgender people, and that can cost people's lives. Like if you have a woman that doesn't have access to abortion, and even when their life is at risk, then you run the risk of that person dying from that indirect action. So that's kind of like what we were
Yeah,
trying to get at.
that's exactly what I was trying to convey.
I have a
Yeah,
question. Just is it true Charlie Kirk didn't support Martin Luther King and the civil rights? Is that true?
He
that's
did
true.
make he did make some pretty harsh statements against MLK. But he was against what I'm probably say it wrong. DEI, right? So he was
DEI.
saying, yeah, he made this statement before about if he gets on a plane and he sees a black pilot, he's going to think to himself, like, did that pilot, is he actually qualified to fly the plane, or did he get put in that position because he's black, because of his skin color? And he relates a lot of that back to the civil rights movement and and bringing, I guess you would say, to giving them rights. So I think a lot of people look at, well, the viewpoint that the stance that they have on DEI is just, in my opinion, it's horrible. I mean, and that's not, that wasn't just Charlie Kirk. I mean, the Trump administration, I mean, we've seen how they've um, destroyed that since he's been in office.
Yeah. But
Okay, sorry.
Rogue Show's back.
Yeah, sorry. Apparently my music will like blare. My music started. My music started playing. As soon as I turned off my headphones. What I wanted to say earlier, before that weird fucking thing happened, was that another part of my reaction I forgot to mention was that they only mourn when it comes to the right or right wing political figures. What about left wing political figures? They got assassinated. Yeah, they got assassinated. I'm pretty sure other left wing political figures, correct me if I'm wrong, like Michael Brooks from the Majority Report or something. Like he died. Or I think that's his name, but he died, and the conservatives were laughing about it. They were making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
But poor Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, it was just a few months ago when the Minnesota Democrats, what was her name?
Yeah,
Melissa Hartman.
Hartman. Yeah,
Melissa Hartman and her husband were assassinated, and the right was like crickets.
Yeah, even Trump. So Trump wouldn't even reach out to Tim Walz because he basically made a statement when they asked him if he reached out to the governor. He said that, it's a waste of time, that Tim Walz is basically a cuckoo, and there's no reason for him to talk to him. So where was, that's horrible, and nobody denounced that. I mean, there should be. I've been pushing that argument and fighting that argument for the last couple of days. I would post a picture of her and the killer, who had a list of, I think, like 43 other Democrats that he was going to go after, and it's freaking, like you said, it's crickets. You're not hearing anything about that. They just act like, oh, but we did give condolences to that. I have people online with responses saying that the shooter was a hero.
I've seen those.
But yet they're going to say that we're the ones being being hateful and insensitive the way that we react to Charlie Kirk. Again, there's always going to be hateful remarks on either side. There's going to be people that are going to have more of a hateful view because maybe, who knows how some of, again, like we talked about, how there was a connection of something that might have affected them in their life, or someone that they loved, a loved one in their life. We don't know that. And there's going to be a percentage, you're going to have somebody who's going to be more angry about something than the other. But that one person that goes and commits that act, they do not represent the rest of the liberals or the left, the rest of the independent, the rest of the people who do not mourn Charlie Kirk. Again, I mean, and that's something that we need to continue to stress, because otherwise they're going to push it against the wall, and they're going to get away with labeling us as terrorists.
And even though the shooter was a far right Christian nationalist, white supremacist, I'm not gonna go and say, "Oh, all conservatives are murderers." No, that's not the case.
No.
It was one person that was very radicalized on a very, very, very far right, and I don't think that the majority of even the people who are speaking up against the liberals, I don't think that they will do something like what the shooter did either.
No, we wouldn't. And then again, I could bring up January 6th. Like, look how violent they reacted. I mean, they tried to basically take over,
by force.
Yeah, with force, and they injured officers, stabbing people with the end of flagpoles, bear spray. I mean, it was horrific. And their argument's going to be, well, they've been spewing. Well, I've been seeing the argument where they try to relate George Floyd, uh, the riots, to in comparison to the reaction. They posted a picture of everybody, at a vigil for Charlie Kirk, and then they put next to it pictures of riots, and they say that the Republicans, this is how that we react when somebody kills one of our own, and then they say, look how how the liberals and Antifa and the crazy radicalized left react. In that comparison, I searched online. I was able to find hundreds of candlelight vigils that were peaceful for George Floyd. So again, that's just people taking advantage of a situation. And I don't condone a lot of the destroying of businesses. I condone peaceful protesting. I do not condone vandalizing, businesses and so forth. And again, that's another reason why I'm so upset and so vocal about this, because we've been doing so great with the peaceful protests that we've had this whole year. The 5501 movement has just been amazing. I haven't seen one single violent incident through any of the large scale marches that they've held.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been so many marches this year, and I mean, I haven't seen any that ended in riots or anything like that. I mean, blocking roads, that's pretty normal for any protest. But I think, despite Charlie Kirk passing away, being gone, the hate that he was spreading is not over just because you take out one person. That was his whole point. His whole point was to indoctrinate all of these very young people, very vulnerable young people, because Charlie Kirk was the creator of Turning Point USA, and a very generalized description from their website says that they have a mission to identify, educate, train, and organize students, both from high school and college levels, to promote principles such as fiscal responsibility, free markets, limited government, along with values like patriotism, liberty, family, etc. But this is just like their description that they gave the IRS in order to get a nonprofit status. Their actual goal and what they actually do is a lot more insidious. Like, they have something called a professor watch list. So they use this to call out professors that discriminate against conservative students or promote what Turning Point USA calls leftist propaganda in classrooms. They have something called a school board watch list, targeting school board members that use their positions that based on their positions on mask mandates, curriculum, race theory, and gender sexuality topics are targeted and put on this list to be called out or, in some cases, taken off their positions. So
harassed.
yeah, pretty much. And they don't even use things that these professors or board members are doing on campus or during work hours. They use information like posts from social media, which is kind of what they're trying to do now. They use posts from social media to take people's jobs away, just because they're exercising their freedom of speech.
Yeah, and that's what I'm so upset about right now. It really, really angers me.
Yeah. So there was this video that you shared with me, Joe. I'm gonna see if I can pull it
Well,
up.
can I make one point real quick though?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Another thing that really, really, really made me feel like it was being one-sided was when President Trump went and made the statement the day of Charlie Kirk's death. I mean, if anyone listened to that speech, at that point in time, he had no knowledge of who the shooter was. They had no knowledge of the background of the shooter, but yet he dangerously labeled liberals and the left as murderers, as terrorists. It was just absurd that the president of the United States can go on and make a national address making that claim without any valid evidence. Like that's like so fucking scary.
Hey, hey, actually, you brought up a good point, Joseph. If he's if Trump is doing that with that, imagine like with Russia or Ukraine or NATO or China. Imagine all the stuff he says on his Truth Social that is
Yeah.
supposedly true.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of scary when you bring it up like
It's
that.
it's propaganda though. I mean, it's definitely, even though he's the president, I mean, okay, a president should only, like, yes, he's probably gonna speak some things that are not factual, but something of such, I mean, Charlie Kirk being killed, it's like in our a point in the timeline of the United States to where that event can be used to send the nation in a complete different direction than we were going. And the power that of being able to use that event, and him doing that so quickly, and putting disinformation out there
without any facts.
without any facts, the same day, just a few hours after he was announced deceased. And on point, the president's actually the first person that made the announcement that Charlie Kirk was dead. That
I
should
thought that
usually
was so
that should
weird.
be something that the FBI or the police make that statement.
Or his wife, even.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I don't know. There's just something, to me. I feel like he grabbed
Mhm.
that moment as soon as he could, so he could put that message out there, knowing that most people were going to hear that message, and they might not listen to anything else the rest of the time. And they heard
That
that one
part.
message, and in their mind, they've already labeled leftist ideology as a disease, as the problem, as the downfall of America.
So
Yeah.
what are the Republicans planning to do with all of us liberals? Like, do they want us to go to another country? What do they
Well, they were
trying
already
to
talking about bringing back psychiatric hospitals, and being able to put people in them, admit them against their will. So, I mean, one of the talking points that I've heard online, just reading stuff and listening to some podcasters that are conservative, is they're pushing for against trans people, the gender dysphoria thing, to say that those people were mentally unstable. That's why they tried so hard to push the narrative of trans related to the shooting, because they're really going to push that agenda. And those are the first people that they would try to commit to these type of asylums that they would bring back. And then from there, once you have that, then you can start choosing whoever the next type of person that you don't agree with their lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
this
they
is,
have a. Yeah, go
this,
ahead, Rocha.
sorry. Yeah, I just want to say, like, when Trump says all this, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. As a, like as the example from earlier, the plane crash. Um, he, all right, he's obviously spread. His first reaction to it was like, DEI is the DEI is the cause of it. Get rid, and it's like, all right, and it's turns out to be bullshit. One, all right, and he just pulled it out of his, and yeah, and two, like he pulled it out of his ass because that's what you do. That's what you do when your political rival is DEI.
Yeah, he pushed very. I mean, that was their main talking point on that. During that crash, the whole DEI thing with whoever was, that the hierarchy inside the control tower, basically. But we know that. I don't know. Most people that are put in position, yes, I know they made the argument about some people who may have learning disabilities and so forth being put in positions in the control tower and so forth. But those people were doing like janitorial work and so forth. They weren't actually at watching the radar or doing communications. Um, that was just a horrible argument to try to push that narrative.
Yeah, but this ties up to what Damien was saying, like, what are they gonna do with all of us, liberals? And there's a process. They have a process. Okay, they've already started it. The first step is to dehumanize minorities, and they pick minorities because they start with the smallest group in order to desensitize people to the act of dehumanizing them, right? They pick somebody that they know the majority of people would disagree with, like, say, immigrants, right? So they're like, well, they're here illegally, they're breaking the laws, they're criminals,
They're taking our
then
jobs.
they're
Yeah.
taking our jobs, exactly.
Mhm.
So it's the narrative. And in order to do that, people stop seeing them as human beings and they start seeing them as a threat. Then they move on to the next group. People of color have been one of those groups for a very, very, very long time, which has actually led to the dehumanization of other groups. They were one of the original ones that this was done to through slavery. Uh, so now we're at the point where they find another minority, right? They find trans people inside the LGBTQ bubble. They find one of the smallest groups, and they start blaming them for all the things. And so the people that support their ideologies of the right start seeing trans people as the enemy everywhere on all the things in the bathrooms. Oh my god, they're gonna attack my children, even though they just want to go and take a piss. All of a sudden, they're shooters. Like what? Humanists are shooters. The humanists are
Yeah,
terrible.
I heard that
We're
one
horrible,
recently.
right? Uh, But that's how they do it. That's how they do the process of dehumanizing this group. Then it makes it easier to dehumanize the next group and the next group and the next group. Now
Yeah.
we have people thinking autistic people are terrible. They don't know how to love. They think you're a piece of furniture. And then we're going to send them to camps, right? Because how dare you put autistic people out there into the world with all of the normals? So there was this idea. I think it was from RFK Jr. that was saying he was going to
Uh,
create all of these camps to put people with mental health issues, like such as mostly were like neurodivergent people, ADHD, autism, OCD, all of those, and they wanted to put them in these camps to grow vegetables. I guess like the immigrants maybe,
to grow back.
and yeah, I'm serious. He did.
I
He
have
said
to look
that.
into that, but I believe he said that. That man is off the wall sometimes with some of
Yeah,
his statements. So
and their plan was to keep them there for 4 years. 4 years, not even like, oh, until they're healed. I don't believe that autistic people need to be healed. Okay, it's just a neural diversity, and it doesn't need fixing. But he does.
I
So
have
he
a,
was like,
or I have
yeah, go
fun
yeah,
ahead.
fact. I have
jump in.
autism. I have autism, and although I'm not probably not like the, though probably not like the connoisseur of living, the connoisseur of living. Uh, I I'm not gonna. I don't want to grow any fucking vegetables. Like I've RFK Jr. like says it just, or that one like, really affects. It affects me the most. Uh, because it really affects me the most because like first of all it's so fucking stupid whenever people say that vaccines cause autism when the reality is we're we're still studying we're still studying what causes autism.
Oh well, no,
And
they found
secondly,
the
yeah,
cause.
It's
It
the
was Tylenol.
vaccines. Oh, Tylenol. Wait. Okay. I thought it
It
was
was
the
Tylenol.
vaccines. No.
yeah,
I thought it was truckers.
and
Come on, man. Oh, they're delivering
anyway,
the produce, man. Yeah, no,
yeah,
Rogue Show. I agree with
Yeah.
you. I mean, it's I mean
yeah, and it's
our kid is on the spectrum, and I'm probably on the spectrum. I've never been diagnosed, but um I don't know. For them to try to label that.
yeah, and the second thing is like I can hold. The second thing is like I can function. Or there's of course there are people with ASD on or who struggle with functioning in the real world and the struggle functioning with people and stuff. But that doesn't make it. It doesn't like deserve like them to be in camps or anything. And plus those who do, those who can, or those who have like uh, level 1 autism, uh, formerly known as Asperger's, uh, we can we can function uh, without we can function without having to grow vegetables. Just let me just let me cook my ramen in peace. And also they also it's not the also throwing people in camps is obviously not the way to help autistic people. There's there's stuff you can do like speech therapy. There's stuff you can do like speech therapy or speech therapy accommodations. I know I had those in my school years. But yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, like, has you even met autistic people? Because a ton of autistic people I know don't even like vegetables. So
He's probably met Elon Musk,
Yeah,
which is
I was gonna
probably the
say,
famous,
yeah.
which is probably I don't know, probably why he's saying this.
yeah,
Well, Elon's another person that's been trying to fan the flame of liberals being
hmm
the vicious, violent left, and calling for war. And nobody is telling him that he needs to cool down his rhetoric. I mean, they're all agreeing with. I've seen people. Yeah, it's time to to get your weapons and fight. It's like nobody's trying to fight anybody. They're the ones that are trying to arm themselves and come after liberals just because this agenda has been told to them by the great orange one. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, so true. Okay, so this was one of the videos that you're talking about, where this is an ex, like a former employee of Charlie
Okay,
Kirk,
yeah.
uh, Turning Point USA. Let's watch. It's 4 minutes, so if anybody,
It's an interesting perspective though, because you see a viewpoint from someone who was, because AJ was talking about earlier how they try to get into high schools, colleges especially, but they're really trying to push into high schools, which
the
is where,
younger,
yeah, where they, young minds can easily be molded to these viewpoints. So this is a very interesting video. I came across it earlier and I sent it to AJ.
oh, so if anybody has anything, just like raise your hand and wave at me. I got the screen now. But I might pause like here and there and get your thoughts on it. Okay, here we go. And never mind, because it was muted. Okay, we started it.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I used to work for Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. I grew up in like rural conservative bubble in the suburbs of Houston. My family was conservative, so I just grew up surrounded by conservative politics. And as a privileged white woman in the conservative bubble, I was never forced to confront politics and really think for myself about what I believed in. So when I was 17 and I met Charlie Kirk and he talked about limited government and fiscal responsibility, it just made sense for me. And so from there, I ended up working for Turning Point full time for part.
They start with this idea of like, don't let the government, make decisions for you. Kind of like that's what she meant by like a smaller government. Yeah, I mean, what's
Meanwhile,
up?
the government's making decisions, trying to make decisions for us.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. It seems like the Republican Party has deviated from that. It seems like the government's making more and more decisions that they shouldn't make. So I don't know.
Well,
I think that's where there's been some pushback though against some people that that supported Trump, because there are some people that feel like that they are pushing away from that now, because now Trump is trying to impose some laws that they might not have agreed with, and they see that it kind of imposes that view, especially by sending military into cities. I mean, that's imposing over, that's big government taking over state. And a lot of these people are really big on state protections and state laws, and the federal government shouldn't have any say so on what state rights put into play. Now go ahead, AJ. I'm sorry.
no, I was thinking that they just use it as an entry point to be able to connect with these younger students that may think that the government shouldn't be making such big decisions for them. And so they just start that way. But then it leads to them, well, like it says, they give you family values. But what does that mean, right? Anybody can be like, oh, family values means this to me. But when you go into the far right in Christian nationalism, family values means that the husband is the head of the household and he's the one that makes all the decisions. Things like, okay, I don't think it was Charlie Kirk. It was somebody else, one of the very big speakers that talks a lot about religion. And he basically said that he wanted the man to be the one to have the only vote for the whole household. Like he votes for all the minors
Yeah.
and the wife. So
Huh,
the
sounds like a
household is
fucking
one vote.
incel.
Yeah. So like that's what they mean by family values. Like at first they introduce themselves as, oh, we want smaller government and we want more freedoms and we want to be able to practice our beliefs and we want to be able to help shape these young minds with the proper family values. But then they teach those type of family values, and they teach things like loyalty to the government, to the leaders, right? And they see Trump as like the highest authority, so they can't question him.
Yeah.
So I think that's how they are very very insidious in that way, that they don't really start you off with all of these ideas. They just start you off with the ideas that they think will get you hooked, and then they
Yeah.
can move on. And young people
They're
are the
also throwing,
perfect ones to do that for. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, they're also throwing buzz. And one thing they'll also do is throw in buzzwords, uh, such as woke or mainstream media.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, both nebulous terms that can mean whatever the fuck you want. Woke actually used to mean something, but mainstream media, I don't know what the fuck it meant. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah. Oh, Casey's on here. Casey.
And it's gonna be really embarrassing. It's gonna be really embarrassing when the conservative student with us like talks to a leftist and says, "You follow the mainstream media because you're woke." Like, what the?
Hmm.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Run. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole woke debacle is a whole nother episode. All right,
Definitely.
let's keep listening and
I've
see
been
what
on
she's
the
saying.
I've been on the anti. I've been on the like anti woke rabbit trail, like with the games and media. They haven't. Or I've been. No, I'm not like participating in anti woke shit. I'm just saying like I just like laughing at anti woke media critics because it's just like black one. It's just like black woman in a game. Woke. And
How dare
it's just so
she?
funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, stop mock. Continue.
Okay. All right.
Part of it during the first Trump election. And a lot of what I did was writing articles specifically designed to scare people and garner traffic and really just ratchet up the intensity of the political moment. And at the time, I thought that I was saving America. I really thought that this was the end all be all, and that if we did not fight for these conservative values, America was going to fall apart and Hillary Clinton was going to ruin the world and the deep state. I wasn't even sure at the time, but basically, like the liberal, like media liberal elite is going to take over the world. And I genuinely believed that. I really did. But then in college, I was studying political science and I started to learn how the world actually works. I started to learn about governance, about the importance of government and what the government can do. And a lot of conservative politics stuff just started to not make as much sense to me. I started to
Yeah, I think what she's referring to is probably like the fact that conservatives push a lot for removing the checks and balances, right? So that, well, especially now, so that Trump has all the power. And so, yeah, that seems like something that she woke up to. She got woke,
Yep.
got indoctrinated by
The
woke
leftists, they
professors.
got her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the left got her. Anyways, it's what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's why it's why it's why we're doing these no kings protests or no kings protests because the checks and balances that the 1770s Americans fought and died for, um, or fought and worked hard for, or fought and died for, or whatever. Uh, those can be whipped. Those can now be whisked away because because of one orange or one agent orange. I forget the reference. Um, yeah.
Yeah, as well. All right. Okay, if you mute yourself, I keep playing. Thank you.
to really question what I believed. And that was so scary because in the place where I was at, your political view was like number one, synonymous with your faith. It was it was like you almost worshipped politics and your political stance. It was so extreme that for me to question my political views was akin to having a crisis of faith. But I did have that crisis of faith. And the more I unraveled it, the more I realized the conservative politics just did not make sense to me, that I thought is unethical, that the right wing was going
So this happens to a lot of people um, who go to college, and the reason is because when you're growing up and you're a kid, like you take up your parents' beliefs, right? When you're exposed a little bit to, I don't know, church or like other groups outside of your home, like she was, for example, at Turning Point USA, while she was very young, she took up those beliefs. But when you get to college is when you finally have like your full independence. Usually you move out from your parents' house. You kind of move away from your church. Like if you're going to college at a different state, you're exposed to people outside of the bubble that you had already grown up in. You're meeting LGBTQ people, you're meeting people of color, you're meeting trans people, you're meeting immigrants, and anybody just people with disabilities, people that you weren't quite exposed to in those very, very conservative, uh, highly religious upbringings. And so that's what happens when people get that freedom. It's not like the college professors are indoctrinating them, they're just seeing the world as it is. I mean,
Yeah, I kind of want to give my perspective on that too. Growing up, as a child, I was just surrounded by Hispanics, Christians. So you can only get so much from that sort of environment, right? But when I went to college, I made so many friends, including Muslim friends. One of my real good friends, he was actually gay. So it's like you start getting to know these people, and you start realizing, wow, that guy has a great heart, or that person, he's a down to earth person. I don't care what he is, or what he affiliates with, or what he believes in. I just know that he's a good person, and that's all I care about. And I think that same. I want everybody to have the equal rights and the same opportunities as everybody should have. And I think that's what happens to a lot of college students, as you said and this girl said, because never did never did I have a, a moment where a professor told me what to believe in. There was not a single moment. Actually, if a professor does that, they can get reported and get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it gives them such when they leave home and they go to college and continue their education, they're put in an environment that exposes them to things that they only had views of based on what was told to them by either their parents or the people that they had in their lives at that time, even their high school or their elementary school and so forth. So you get a different type of exposure, and it's more of a informative, and you get more information as well when you go to college. So you're learning things that you didn't know prior. And as we always talk about, in order to change views, or in order to change beliefs that you might hold that are harmful, you have to educate yourself and expose yourself to other things in order to be able to change that view.
Yeah. It's like college
And I,
is where they teach you how to think, not what to think. Tell my
and it's
dad.
and the thing is like it's not even it doesn't even have to it doesn't even have to start at college.
Hmm.
Like for instance, I never went to college. I have
Same.
probably yet I probably yet to. Uh, but yeah, and I was also I think we both I'm pretty sure we both were in conservative. We both were born in Christian conservative households. Well, I got my politics from my grandma, not my mom specifically. Um, I was I was sort of radicalized on the right, and like I heard the talking points and I spewed them and got absolutely embarrassed. Uh, until I realized until when I watched the other side of politics, or programs like the Atheist Experience or The Line, and realized my holy shit, or wait a minute, my really did not hold. Arguments really do not hold up here, and so that's the story of my transformation, and I didn't even have to I didn't even have to go to college and get surrounded by the woke mob to
Well,
uh,
I mean, it's just really
become a
about
leftist.
educating yourself, though. So I mean, you can go to a library and read
Huh.
things yourselves. Like, that information is out there. It doesn't have to be taught to you by a professor. So I mean, um,
Yeah,
I think I was just making it a point saying that when you do go to college, like, you are open and exposed to that type of information. Yes, but I agree with you, Rocho. That's a very good point, that you can definitely, you don't have to go to college to be able to educate yourself and be able to change harmful views that you may have held, or change just different beliefs that you may have held as a kid. So
yeah. It is.
we're growing every day. That's what we should all strive for, to continue to learn every day.
Yeah, the sort of way to like do that or without going to college, or if you can't afford it, like if people in the audience like are kind of wondering like how does this sort of how does sort of deconversion work? Well, that's about what it's about, like it's learning how to is the first thing to learn is how to critically think for yourself. That's the
What?
That's the crucial thing.
Yeah.
Is learning how to think for yourself, learning how to analyze what media you are consuming. Uh, More specifically, political news or political streamers, podcasters, whatever the fuck. And then you brought then it's about research or being or research and learning how to research and stuff. Uh, so that way, when the facts present itself, you can be on the side of facts over fear mongering and sometimes feelings.
Well, that is something that we have to be very careful of. Misinformation. So,
Yeah.
definitely online communications and getting information from online, you do have to know how to vet the sources and understand what information you can take at full cost, and what information is invalid. I would say, if you are getting your information from online, never trust one source. But yes, misinformation can spread, so multiple sources might state the same misinformed ideology or information. So I mean, it's a very entangled web of of just
Yeah, yeah.
craziness out there. You have to really be careful when you're getting information that way. Definitely, I think it's better to be involved in a community that you can discuss those topics with, so you're able to
Fact check each
yeah, to
other.
fact check, yeah, like call each other out on it. Be like, yeah, I don't take that to full belief. Did you hear about this? Open conversation, with people that might not have the same agreements is also something that we lack these days. We used to be able to reach over, and speak to a conservative friend or speak with a Republican friend, without thinking that we need to fight each other just because we're like coming to a disagreement. We need to learn how to look into that and figure out why a person might think that, and then maybe if they're missing some information, help them learn that, so that maybe they can change their viewpoint.
Yeah, and don't make it the goal to change someone's mind. Just make it the goal to make them think.
To inform them, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I have a family member, well, the last couple of days that I've been very, very vocal with, and today I just made some points. I didn't argue. I kept it calm and just threw information out there and said the ball's on their court. If they want to learn more about it, the information's out there.
Yeah. I mean, if people don't trust, social media or the news outlets about things like transgender issues, right? They can go to the source of medical professionals who know what they're talking about. Like, you go to, even online, you can go to places like Google Scholar. They have tons of biology books there, like college level biology books that are
Yeah, they
free and
available for the
accessible.
public. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
which is amazing. I mean,
yeah,
those are great places to get information from and educate yourself for sure.
yeah. Or follow actual biologists online that have that communicate
Like
science,
sports,
right?
okay.
Yeah,
That's the one I was thinking of.
I threw his name out there to the relative today. Hopefully that relative goes and watches some of his stuff. I mean, that's how it should go.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep watching this video.
Getting more and more extreme by the day, and that I was not comfortable with it. So that's when I pretty much quit Turning Point, and I said, this is not okay. What is being done to the electorate is not okay. But I was scared and I was confused, and so it took me a really long time to really figure out what I believed. And now, second Trump administration, I can't not talk about it. And so I want to share my experiences as somebody who used to be super conservative, who is now involved in liberal politics in small town Texas, and talk about how important it is for if you are claiming a political party or political ideology to really understand what it is you're talking about and what it is you're championing. So stick around. I'll be sharing some of my stories from Turning Point, as well as hopefully connecting with people who were formerly conservative. Maybe they're kind of thinking about it, really hoping to do some good in this dark time.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good
Really
video.
good.
I want to check out some of her other content, but she only puts her stuff on TikTok. So I need to get logged back into my TikTok account. But that was cool that someone shared that on. I grabbed that on Facebook, and so I'm glad I came across her channel or her media.
Yeah.
Interesting story to see that viewpoint, from someone who was, I wouldn't say, well, maybe it is indoctrination, but someone who was started with their ideology at a young age. She said 16, I believe, right? Was when she was introduced to Turning
Yeah,
Point.
16 or 17.
Yeah, okay.
It was 17.
Yeah, okay, 17, which is a young age. I mean, I remember when I was 17, I had some pretty vocal viewpoints on politics, but I didn't understand much of it. So I mean, I think you're just kind of getting into politics at that time, at that age. So you're very easily your mind can be swayed or shaped to a certain viewpoint or agenda. I mean, we won't even let, I think you were making a discussion yesterday, like you can't drive a car until you're 18. I mean, I guess you could vote when you're 18 too, but
well, no, we were talking about how you cannot rent a car until you're 25.
Okay, it was rent a car. Okay, that's what you had said.
Yeah.
Okay, saying the responsibility, and then they brought up the hotel room as well.
Yeah.
Same
age.
Yeah, booking a
You
hotel.
you can drive a car at like 15. I think you need to drive a car at like 15.
Oh yeah, no, the driver's license, but she was talking about actually renting a vehicle from like a car rental agency, like budget car rental or something. You can't rent one.
Yeah,
like a certain,
I heard. I heard about that legislation.
Yeah, it's just like because your brain hasn't fully developed, like this decision making part of your brain, and so that's why we do those choices. So we were talking earlier about Trump's response, but there was also the fact that J.D. Vance helped escort the body of Charlie Kirk to Air Force 2, where he was transported to Arizona. And not only that, but also J.D. Vance took over Charlie Kirk's podcast from
broadcasting White House.
The
White House. That was just like horrible. Like that's like such an overreach of. There's got to be some type of policy against that, right? I mean, that's.
I guess
crazy.
they could frame it as, this was a personal friend and stuff, but like, do they do that for every personal friend that passes away? I don't think so.
Stephen Miller was on there too. I know Damien. That's his favorite person in the Trump administration. So
I hate him. But is that actually true though? He's now in charge of the.
No, he just took over. He took over the show, like the whole show this day. I mean, it was yesterday, I believe. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Or one episode.
Yeah, the whole episode. He was like, well, it wasn't only him. There was like other officials from the Trump administration that spoke as well. Like I said, Stephen Miller was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was still from the White House.
This is from it right here. Yeah, this video excerpt is actually from the podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play it for a second. It's pretty quick.
A statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
You will not replace us!
It is a statistical.
Whoa, that's some statistical facts about lunatics that J.D. Vance put out there, and that footage was from like January 6th. And
are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking kidding me? They bring the fucking Nazi. They bring the Nazis who those fucking losers who decided one day, hey, let's do tiki, let's let's like tiki torches and
Yeah.
talk about and say Jews will not replace us, and the Jews are like minding their own fucking business, say minding their own fucking business, and probably laughing their ass off.
Yeah. So
Like,
the
it was
video,
embar-
the footage on the bottom was just supposed to. It was just that's not what was like shown with the actual audio or video that you saw of JD Vance, but they were just showing the hypocrisy because he basically labeled all liberal left wing as the issue or as the violent people on that podcast broadcasted from the White House. And you see, the video played on the bottom. We know how violent they are as well. So I don't remember exactly what Trump, how he stated it the other day, but like 2 days ago, he was like on one of the Fox morning shows or something. And he made a statement saying that when they asked him if there was political violence on the right side, he said that a lot of people, I'm not quoting him exactly. I'm just kind of quoting what he had said in reference to. He made a statement in somewhat of the stance that the right does have violent people on their side, but they're only violent because the left make them have to be violent, basically to fight against the craziness that the liberals try to push.
Goodness.
like what?
Yes.
What about have they considered the left being violent because of the right? Like,
it could go both ways.
and I know that doesn't happen. Yeah, I know it doesn't happen. I know it generally is left. I know leftists are like generally less violent. They have less violent protests. There are riots, and of course there are obviously riots and stuff. But a lot of it happens to be a lot of it just like vandalism. A lot of riots just are like vandalism. With the right, they're like beating people. They're just beating random people. And even if the left is forcing their hand, or even the left is forcing their hand here, like, or even if, yeah, it's still, I don't know, it's just very dumb and hypocritical.
It is for sure.
Very, very, very hypocritical.
All right, so I have another short clip. Let me see if I can put it up. This was from also from JD Vance's speech at the podcast for Charlie Kirk.
He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support, and his friendship. I don't think that I'm alone in saying that Charlie was the smartest political operative I ever met. He was a critical part.
And that's key right there as to why they're having the response that they're having, because they credit him with a lot of the reason why Trump was elected. And one of the reasons why is because he targeted young people that could.
Yeah.
And the reason they target high school students is because they're very close to the age of being able to
voting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta basically. Oh.
Like this.
What are we doing?
Like the
Okay.
like the okay. I probably can't believe that Charlie Kirk was a big was a big part of it, because the right reason behind it makes sense. But I feel like they're only saying they would only say that if they're only saying that because he's dead.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
would say
that's the only.
somewhat.
No, Trump would
Yeah,
make
I
those
feel like
statements prior to that, though. Trump would always brag that Charlie Kirk was a big connection to the youth, and he would brag that he drew in the biggest numbers of the youth voting for him.
But it was cis white males mostly, young cis white males.
yeah. But even then, okay. What But the thing is, what I really wanted to comment on is really this. I I can probably name 100. I can probably find people. I can probably find conservatives like 100 times smarter than Charlie Kirk. Because all
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Kirk did, or the I guess the smart things that Kirk did, uh, he was was he would uh edit he would edit his videos against the college. He would just uh, debate against college students and not instead of peers. Like he would just mainly target college students to, I guess, destroy. Then he would ask a random, out of the blue question, unrelated, unrelated to the topic, unrelated to the topic. Like I think, for example, one of the videos I watched him, like he was, he was talking about other, like I think it was like I don't know, I forgot what topic he was talking about. One of the college students were a little, one of the college students were a little upset about it, and confronted him about it, and he just simply he just like asked, "Do you think Palestine exists?" It's like what?
Just something
What
out
kind
of
of
the
fucking
blue.
like?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's something out of the blue. Like that's what he did. He targeted college kids. He would ask a random question out of the blue, or change the topic out of the blue, and gift gallop you. And also, he would he would talk. He would get banned from Twitter after saying hydroxychloroquine will cure COVID.
Yeah, that
Like,
misinformation was spread a lot. Yeah, it's
like
crazy. Yeah.
that's intellectual. That's the intellectual stuff that Charlie Kirk did.
And I really hate the fact that people believe that though. Like on the right side, right wing, MAGA supporters, that's just crazy.
Well, I think it ties into the way that his organization uses. I'm gonna go this direction. The way that they use religion and tie in Christian nationalism into this whole movement. It may not be portrayed that that's like the forefront of their message, but there's definitely a huge link. So people start believing, oh, I'm a faithful Christian, or I'm devoted to my faith. So there's no way that these other views that this organization is telling me
Important.
to follow, that why would they misdirect me? So they kind of use that way of using religion to connect it to that, and to push patriotism with nationalism and Christianity and religion in general. I think that's one of their tactics, and that gives them a huge benefit. What do you think about that, AJ? Do you kind of agree with that they use that, or no?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, any religion can be weaponized, not just Christianity. But it just so happens that in the U.S. right now, it is Christianity because it's, the more prevalent, the major religion, and it's unfortunate because like we always talk about, like this isn't about saying that all Christians are terrible. That's not the case. It's just Christian nationalism as a thing, as an ideology, is what's harmful, and a lot of people are falling for it. People that are wanting to be better people, wanting to be better humans, and unfortunately, they're falling for all of the ideology that comes with that goal. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't realize how harmful. Like even well, the people that see it are seeing it, but the right wing people are not seeing how harmful Charlie Kirk was because they believe in those ideologies themselves.
Well, I think we need more people with Christian faith, or even just faith in general, to stand up against some of the things, and like we have James Talarico here in Texas. He's about to run for a Senate seat. He's a congressional member right now, and he wants to be a preacher. His dad was a preacher. He preaches faith. He preaches Christianity, and he was a school teacher as well. But he knows one of his main things that he talks about is the separation of church and state, and it's okay to follow religion, but when you bring them together and you use both of those very powerful ideologies and connect them together, I mean, it's like the perfect storm.
Yeah, or people in public spaces that are not even in politics. We had Tim Whitaker on our show a couple months ago, and Damien, you were on that show. He's a Christian, but he's very anti-Christian nationalism, and his co-host April E. Joy. We met her. Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
all met.
NanoCon. Yeah, we all met her.
She was there too, right? Like she's in the secular humanist convention speaking to secular people, right? Like her ideas are the right thing. Like despite what we may disagree as far as supernatural beliefs, we are still on the same side as far as we don't want Christianity to be the only religion. Like we want people to actually have freedom of religion to practice whichever they want or don't want. And yeah, so that's what we have to have more of, more people like that.
Yeah, we really do need to check, like if you have any even local or smaller like county or citywide elections, um, try to look at the candidates and try to put candidates in places of power that have that view, because right now the Trump administration is doing the exact opposite. They're putting anyone who is only loyal to that Christian national type mentality or view into positions of power, like all over the U.S.
Like
Yeah, all over the U.S. And that's going to take years for us to undo that one-sided viewpoint.
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, it's not even that. It's just people who it is basically just people who agree with Trump. Why I think it's important to make that distinction is because Trump does a lot of anti-Christian things, like he cheats on his wife. He cheats on his wife. He lies. He lies.
Hey, don't forget
Maybe it's like
with all the cheeseburgers.
All the McDonald's.
Yeah.
He lies. Yeah, he lies. He sells. All right, Jesus talked about like not sell. All right, Jesus destroyed people who sell religion. Like he destroyed stands that try to like use religion for profit. And Trump's doing what Jesus despises, and sells his fucking Trump Bible.
Oh yeah, the Trump Bible with the Constitution on it.
Yeah, and that's just a few examples. That is just a few examples. I can go into how the love and kindness that Jesus preached is the opposite of what Trump is doing. I can go into all that, but I don't have the speaking skills.
No, but it's good that you understand that, though. I mean, it's good to see it from that viewpoint.
Yeah, for sure. So I have that video by Thomas Westbrook from Holy Kool-Aid. We can watch a little bit because he talks a lot about how harmful some of Charlie Kirk's speech was, because a lot of people are like, well, all he wanted to do was be a debater and debate other people, and no, that wasn't it. Like, he was a public speaker. He spoke in front of very large audiences outside of his debates, and
Okay.
told these people to believe these things. So all right, let me pull this up real quick. Okay.
A lot of damage. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year.
This is not going to end well. Charlie Kirk is dead. He was shot yesterday while debating at a college campus, and as of my recording this, the shooter is still at large. What I'm about to say will probably piss some of you off, and I probably will lose some subscribers and patrons over it. But I don't care. The truth needs to be said because no one in the mainstream is talking about this. Before I pull the pin out of the grenade, though, I want to make it abundantly clear that I do not condone violence, and it is a dark place that we've come to in American politics where this is what people feel like they have to resort to. Simultaneously, I refuse to fly this flag at half-mast today because the man who died yesterday was not a hero. As I speak, there is a concerted effort to turn him into a martyr, to weaponize his death as a justification for right-wing retaliatory violence, without the public really being truly aware of who this man
And again, violence doesn't have to be just like shooting someone or beating them up. Yeah, go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, if Trump was like so good, like if Charlie Kirk was so good, why didn't Trump go to the Virgil, whatever that's called, today or yesterday? Supposedly he was playing golf, so kind of just shows you how cold that administration is.
Wow, I did not know that part. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yep.
but it tracks. It tracks. So, yeah. So like they don't
Also,
necessarily. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
For sure.
I kind of want to like expand on what you're saying about like it doesn't have to be like just beating people up.
Mhm.
It can be inciting violence. It can be inciting violence, or calling for violence.
Yeah.
Or even just a simple act of fear mongering. Like we're all gonna die. It's gonna be the end of the world. Communism is good. Communism, the gay commies or gay furry commies are gonna rise up against us unless we do something about it. And that's going to that is going to be, unfortunately, a cause for violence.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
the type of I'm pretty sure that's the type of violence that you were talking about that I wanted to shed more light on.
Yeah, pretty much like inciting violence or saying things like report all these people so they lose their jobs and continuing to take the rights away from people, basic rights of people. So let's see what is it.
and actually was, and the horrific things that he stood for. Charlie Kirk's death isn't a tragedy because we lost one of the good ones. It's a tragedy because of what it represents for American democracy and the dark times that are to come. Because Charlie Kirk was one of the worst stains on the reputation of my country. I don't say this to be tactless. This is a man who called Martin Luther King awful and not a good person, stating that the passage of the Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake.
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk's self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true.
And the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white.
At Every, we're rewriting the rules.
Okay, I'm gonna mute the ads because I don't want to get canceled.
He sowed division wherever he went. He promoted conspiracy theory garbage like the Great Replacement Theory, which states that rather than white people being able to live in harmony with other races, minorities are plotting to replace us. He promoted 2020 election fraud conspiracies so effectively that despite them being repeatedly proven false in court by Trump's own appointed justices, millions of Americans still believe them to this day. During the pandemic, even as Trump's own administration was pumping billions of dollars into Operation Warp Speed, attempting to rapidly create and test a vaccine, rather than taking this emergency as an opportunity to help unite America, he turned on doctors and spread pseudoscientific misinformation and anti-vax conspiracy theories, calling vaccine mandates medical apartheid. He organized COVID-19 skepticism campaigns on college campuses, which he painted as exercises in critical thinking, but in reality, they were super spreader events where unvaccinated attendees caught the deadly virus and breathed their last breath from a ventilator weeks later, separated from their families. He painted gun deaths as inevitable, and as the bodies piled up, creeping into the thousands during Trump's first term, as children bled out, gripping the hands of their parents in hospital beds around the nation, he nonchalantly stated that gun deaths are an unfortunate but acceptable cost of preserving the Second Amendment. And as LGBT kids across America...
And he ate his own words there. I mean, it's crazy. Like when I said earlier that there was blood on Charlie Kirk's hands. This is what I mean. This is the type of thing that I mean. Like he actually led to thousands of, well, I don't know how many, what the number would be, but so many people died from the repercussions of the words that he said. That we can't argue that words mean nothing, like, because clearly they mean something to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean that's the same topic at the opening I was talking about. I mean, there are repercussions to things that people say because they do actually cause direct what's the word I'm looking for, direct interaction with people's lives,
Yeah, harm, damage.
Yeah, harm. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Damien. You're muted.
You're muted, Damien.
I just wanted to bring up a point that Charlie Kirk made. A lot of the times he always justified what was going on in Gaza because of religion. He said, "Oh, Israel has the right to do what they're doing because of religion. They're the chosen ones, the Holy Land, and it's point like those, like, well, so you're saying all these kids deserve to starve? That's just, how is it okay? In what world does that make it okay?" And yeah, he spilled a lot of hatred. Yeah, that's just an example.
Yeah, because if you think about it, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Roksha.
Well, I actually heard. Funny enough. Funny enough that you say that, because I actually heard of a conspiracy theory that Israel took out Charlie Kirk, like I think like yesterday.
They're still spreading that one.
Yeah, and I was like after all the shit Charlie Kirk says about it being the Holy Land, about Israel being the fucking Holy Land, and that Hamas are terrorists, therefore wipe out Palestinians. Like, how can that possibly be true? Because Charlie Kirk is a mouthpiece, or was a mouthpiece, and it would make no fucking sense for Mr. Netanyahu to do such a thing, because it is supporting him.
Yeah, exactly.
For Charlie Kirk, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that same theory as well, Rogue Show. I mean, there's a lot of different crazy conspiracy theories, about that. So, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I mean, you can easily debunk that just by how much he supported Israel and the things that how he praised them and spoke highly of them. So there's no reason for them to quiet or silence that that echo chamber for them here in the U.S.
Yeah.
America struggled to come to terms with their identity and faced bullying and religious discrimination, leading to the highest rates of suicide of any demographic, he fomented hatred towards trans people, further stigmatizing an already trampled on and vulnerable minority struggling to simply exist, falsifying statistics to paint them as the problem. Even up until his final breath, Charlie Kirk had blood on his hands. He defended the Israeli genocide in Gaza and downplayed Russia's violent invasion of Ukraine as merely a border dispute. And in response to skilled legal immigrants from India strengthening our economy, he stated that America doesn't need more visas for people from India, claiming that they would simply displace American workers. And while women with ectopic pregnancies bled out in hospital parking lots because their doctors were terrified of the new legal repercussions of performing life-saving abortions, Kirk, always the confident fool, touted that abortion was worse than the Holocaust.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse.
I can't even believe he said that. I hadn't heard that.
I
one.
had not heard that one either.
Dunning Kruger at its finest.
Yeah, that's wow.
Can you replay that one more time? That part,
Yeah.
you know.
Abortion was worse than the Holocaust.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
It's really not.
And said that if his 10-year-old daughter was raped, he would force her to carry it to term.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
And as millions of Americans.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
That is, that's so harmful. I mean, I've heard like so many really bad arguments from Charlie Kirk, but that's definitely probably one of the worst.
You know, this is the first time I'm seeing either of those. The first time I'm seeing either of those statements. Why, man, those videos need to be passed around a lot more.
Post it on your Facebook.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm definitely gonna look for excerpts.
Oh yeah. It's a wild thing. That is a wild thing to say. Like, aren't they like a person? First of all, we're still arguing about whether the fetus is a person. Like, there's not really. It's not really like easy to quantify what the personhood of a fetus.
Yeah.
But also, but even if it's still like if you're forcing someone to carry themselves a term, you're basically forcing someone to like get a blanche, forcing someone to like give another person a blood transfusion or something like that. But how, like, even if there's personhood involved, how could you possibly compare it to the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews died out of hate, out of fear, out of cruelty? Like, how? That is.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't seen the full clip and how that came up, but even that part where she asks him the question and he's like, "Yeah, even worse than that." Like, what in the world?
On the other question where the girl asked him about if his daughter, was raped and became pregnant. Did she say your 10-year-old daughter?
Yeah, she said 10-year-old.
And he said that the baby would be born. I mean, that's sickening, because I mean this girl is still a child, And for her, I
Not
mean,
just that, but
there's probably like a huge risk for her even having a
yeah,
baby as well. So like, so
Can
he would put her life at risk. Um,
not
when
just that, but like the trauma of having to carry
yeah,
a
and become a parent and
baby
go through that.
for
It's, yeah,
9 months. That the child of the person that raped
that
her.
raped them. Yeah, that's just
That's
like
that's just traumatizing. I
And
mean,
yeah,
go
not to
ahead.
mention,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that statement right there. That's the first time I heard of that statement too.
yeah, that actually made me sick to. I mean, made me feel like I felt like I felt
Disgusted.
horrible. That's why I had to recheck if she asked him 10-year-old daughter. I mean, and he would force like as a father, if I had a child, you know, a daughter that happened to, there's no way I would force her to go through that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
No way.
I agree. I'm disgusted.
it's the
I'm
first time I.
disgusted by the
Sorry.
statement. Go ahead, Rogue.
All right, sorry. Yeah, this is the first time I've heard. This is the first time I heard this. Heard this too. Like I hadn't watched, or I was kind of falling off of politics and stuff. Um, at that time when that happened, but like I don't. For some reason, I am not. For some reason, I am not surprised because it's. I feel like I feel like at that point I expected that. Uh, because he did talk about like bringing back public execution and stuff,
Yeah,
which was
having a
another absurd thing.
yeah, I saw that and being
Another absurd
broadcasted.
thing.
Yeah, being broadcasted on TV and forcing the kids to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not. We're not just talking about the psychological effects of a child having to carry a baby to term, but the physical as the physical trauma that will ensue. It's already hard enough for an adult. It's already hard enough for an adult uh, to carry out a pregnancy, because to carry out a pregnancy is going to cause permanent can cause permanent uh, health problems. Can cause permanent health problems, like you piss yourself randomly, or have muscle spasms, or whatever, or like have problems with your heart or something. Imagine that. Imagine a child having to go through that. That is sick.
Yeah, Rogue Show. I agree 100% on that. It's like I'm still shocked by that comment and that response to that. It's
Yeah,
just wild.
and it's so wild to think that they are so they hold these beliefs so deeply that they can't think that
Have an
an
exception for one thing, right?
abortion, right, and an abortion, yeah, is a surgical is, it can often be sort of what is considered a surgical procedure, right? um so this to say that, yeah, sure, it does cause some minor harm. It can come with some risks, but so does pregnancy, and so does carrying to your rapist child to term, and then having to give that child away or raise that child, which will probably be even worse than,
Yeah,
having to give the baby for adoption. um,
I wonder
and
what his stance was on that. If she would have asked him that, that would have been great to see. Like, okay, well,
yeah,
would you let your daughter keep the child and would y'all raise it, or would you put the child up for adoption? I'm just curious, like what he would have answered on that.
yeah, like an
You probably
abortion is a
would.
thing that, yes, you're gonna deal with it. It's not gonna be without, it's not gonna be a zero trauma type of thing. But if you compare the risk versus the benefits to carrying to term, raising the child, abortion is definitely the much easier and less harmful option for a child.
let's keep watching. I'm curious what's gonna.
Struggled to pay rent. Kirk's solution to the housing crisis was to put more people in prison.
I said, honestly, we should be much tougher on crime. We need more people in jail. We need more arrests.
America has more prisoners than any country on earth, and one of the highest per capita rates. If you believe that this is the land of the free, I've got a rude awakening for you. But when asked by policymakers what his top recommendation was for the Republican Party, he stated that
we do not have enough people in jail in this country.
This was a community college dropout influencing top Republican lawmakers. He believed that university was a scam, and the only good reason for women to go to it was to find a husband.
Oh my goodness.
I remember that.
Whoa. Okay, I was thinking that's interesting that he was a college dropout and that he thought it was a scam because that's where he went.
Yeah, he was.
That's where he would go. He would go. Yeah, try to.
I guess take
indoctrinate
them off
people.
call. I guess to get them to drop out of college, probably.
Yeah, leave the scam and listen
one of
to
his
my
biggest-
listen to my scam.
Yeah, one of his biggest talking points. Well, I'm saying that because I watched his PragerU video. Unfortunately, one of his biggest talking points is our university is being scammed. Like that's the one thing he knows how to do. No, that's a reference. Sorry, bad reference. He was and the irony of it, like he was a college dropout, and paid for by his daddy, I guess, so he can do this. They can do this shit, right? Do this, incite violence, say stupid shit like hydroxychloroquine cures COVID, and advocate for public executions and 10-year-old kids to carry rape babies.
Yeah, I've never seen the PragerU video. I didn't even know that exists. That has to be a pretty crazy full video to watch.
Yeah, I've heard of it because we used to cover it a lot on the nonprofits.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna go look at that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of that because that sounds interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Rogue Show.
Let's see what else we got.
I'm Addie, and I'm 14. I'm a freshman in high school.
I think there is an argument to bring back the MRS degree. And no, seriously. And just be clear, that's why you're going to college, right? Don't lie to yourself. I'm studying sociology. No, you're not. We know why you're here. And that's okay. I say college is a scam, but if you're going to find your life partner, that's actually a really good reason to go to college. And so, yeah, you could go learn.
What? Why would you spend thousands of dollars on books and tuition and a dorm just to go find a husband? Just go to the fucking library or something, or in a coffee shop.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of an extreme point for sure. I don't know.
I think
use Bumble or Tinder. God.
Yeah,
but what's the point of stressing that though? I mean, how does that? Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that what I think he was trying to do is, like we said, he targets young men with a specific messaging, right? Like you have to be the head of the household, like you have to be, the leader of the house, and this and that, and the family, because they're all about family values, meaning
they push
marriage
that
between a man and a woman. And so I think he's targeting young women specifically to say you have to go and become a mother and become a wife, and that's your job. And if you're doing it at college, okay, that's cool, but let that be your goal. Let it not be that you're gonna go study, because he was like, oh yeah, sure, you're gonna study, kind of implying that women don't go to college to learn.
Yeah, well, that's a ignorant statement. I mean, and if you look at it that way, I mean, then it's basically saying that it's kind of pointless for the woman to even go and get that college degree, because if she gets, she has to become a mom and, take care of, like, say the guy wants 2 or 3 kids, that's going to be her full-time job. She's not going to be able to, to pursue her career.
But you have people like J.D. Vance saying that women should go and have more children. And that, that's basically their job.
Let's start pushing. We need more stay-at-home dads, I guess. I don't know. Let the women have their careers. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Some stuff, that's fine, I guess, or whatever. Just don't listen to your professors.
Charlie Kirk had no formal education.
There was. Don't listen to your professors. Don't go to learn. Just go to find a husband.
Play that back. I missed it. No.
But if you're going to find your life partner, like, that's actually a really good reason to go to college. And so, yeah, you could go learn some stuff. That's fine, I guess, or whatever. Just don't listen to your professors.
Charlie Kirk had no
You got it.
Yeah. Wow.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, wow. I don't think that he spoke to men that way.
No,
formal
definitely
education in
not.
political
Definitely
science or
not.
sociology or criminology. And despite the US having a heavily militarized, needlessly violent police force, which already has tragically higher rates of police shooting than any other developed country on earth, Kirk proposed that we get tougher on crime and bring back public executions.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No,
this was not a champion of free speech.
Wait. I wonder what people, because he said public executions or on certain people.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sure we know. I'm sure we all know.
This was one of the most vile mouthpieces of America's dark political underbelly, spewing absolute toxic filth. And yet, he was one of the most influential people in the nation, rubbing shoulders with the president and helping sway an election that's led to the downfall of democracy in the installment of a convicted felon and accused pedophile in the White House. Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA, hired over 1,000 employees who swayed hundreds of thousands of voters. He helped roll back LGBT rights, voting rights, immigration rights, and for the first time in history, our daughters will have fewer rights than their grandmothers. In his short life, Charlie Kirk managed to do more damage and more harm than almost any other American in the last 50 years. And yet, his death was quickly politicized as a tragedy. Trump announced that he would posthumously give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest honor a civilian can receive. I'm sorry, but are we all just going to forget the abhorrent way that Trump treated an actual war hero, John McCain, and the way that he responded to his death? Oh, and Trump also declared that the flag should be flown nationwide at half-mast for 4 days. When 2 Democratic legislators in Minnesota were shot, they received callous indifference from the president. There were over 140 school shootings in the US in Trump's first term alone. Do you know how many times he flew the flag at half-mast for them? Twice. This is disgraceful. Hundreds. Even thousands of firearm deaths are merely unfortunate statistics. So I'm sorry that I'm not shedding a tear over the man who said,
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost.
Build a website you love.
In that.
Yeah, we all know what he's about to say on that one, though. I've been posting that everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, some gun deaths every single year.
School shootings are almost uniquely an American problem. But Charlie Kirk presented a false dichotomy. You can either have freedom or you can give up your guns, as if every free democracy has citizens armed to the teeth, and as if we couldn't at least enact some sensible gun control laws. The biggest tragedy about Charlie Kirk's death was his wasted potential. Here was a bright, capable young man with resources and serious drive who could have accomplished so much good. And instead, he spread Handmaid's Tale levels of theocratic dystopia. And had he actually read his Bible rather than...
That's one thing that I was thinking about. Like, he was like 31. And I know people older than Charlie Kirk who used to be white supremacists, like Nazi bigots, and changed their minds and are now like fully liberal. They hate the person that they used to be. And so people have have the ability and the option to change their minds. So Charlie Kirk still had a chance, but he didn't get it.
But dude, hold on. So before you
Yes.
play the video, do you think that he was aware that a lot of the views he spewed? Do you think he believed everything 100% that he said, or do you think that sometimes he just spoke some things because he knew that that was the agenda that they were pushing for? Like I wonder that, but I guess we'll never know. But I agree. Yeah, I mean, I hold views in my 30s, early 20, late 20s, that I don't hold today. So definitely we can change, but it depends. Like, is he aware of those views are messed up and still pushing them, or was he actually naive to it and believed it?
Yeah. Rosha wanted to go. All right, you guys keep the conversation. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm listening. Keep going.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
yeah.
ahead.
The thing about, or the thing is, like, I don't know if Charlie Kirk could. I don't know if Charlie Kirk, like, could change. Like, one thing I've stressed. One thing I stressed, I think, was that he's a grift. This is the first time saying it. Was that he's a grifter, and grifters don't really. And grifters, when their money is presented, they will follow the money and just say they'll follow the money and stay talking and say the talking points that they need to say to get the money, and throw all morals out the window. Another part of me believes that he actually did believe it, was because a lot of the dumb things he said, a lot of dumb things, but the dumb things he said were novel. Some of them were novel, like the out of the blue stuff. Like, yes, I'll allow my 10-year-old to be traumatized by carrying out a pregnancy, or I think public execution. I seriously think public executions should be back. And like, he was the part of me, part of me thinks that he believes some of the things that he said, like the outlandish shit, but mostly grifted with right wing talking points. It's the same thing with it's the same thing I said about or it's the same thing with the most anti-woke critics. Because a lot of the anti-woke critics are grifter. They follow the money, or they're grifters. They throw all logic out the window, and when a game fails, when a video game, when a movie fails, or even like before the movie is even released, they'll call it woke. It's going to be bad because it's woke, and then get their fucking paycheck. So the bottom line is, I think that it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both grifting and actually believing what he says.
Yeah, I have to agree. And I do wonder that same thing about a lot of people out there, spewing hateful rhetoric. And you wonder, like, do they actually believe that? And I think the majority of them do. And they believe quite a major part of it. But then at the same time, the parts that they don't believe, they still put them out there because it benefits their grift, like you said.
Yeah, it's all about engagement. And I mean, the way that he, did the question, he would say, challenge me basically, and so he would bring up questions or topics that, were very, very hot topics
For sure.
for the most engagement.
So we got 3 minutes left in this video. Let's watch.
And simply using it as a prop to bludgeon those he looked down on, he might have taken a warning from Christ that those who live by the sword will die by the sword. Charlie successfully advocated for the establishment of a fascist regime. The American people have been thoroughly stripped of their rights, watching oligarchs take control of the country. He convinced hundreds of thousands of impoverished Americans to vote against their best interests and for the interests of his organization's ultra-wealthy backers. We are watching our neighbors, many of them US citizens and legal residents, get rounded up, arrested, and held without warrant by masked Gestapo. 70% of us now live paycheck to paycheck and watch in horror as our healthcare coverage is slashed, while our tax dollars fund bombs, which right now, as I speak, are being dropped on schools and hospitals in Gaza as part of an ethnic cleansing program by Charlie's friend Benjamin Netanyahu. So are we really surprised that when desperate people helplessly watching their freedoms erode and their very nation descend into a totalitarian theocracy, that there would be backlash? And somehow people are shocked by his specific death? For decades, despite school shooting after school shooting, Republicans completely turned a blind eye and didn't give a flying shit about the deaths of innocent kids. The rights of the gun owners superseded the rights of children to live, to breathe, to pursue their dreams of becoming doctors or scientists. Are we really surprised that under these circumstances, when the one right that's still defended is the Second Amendment right, that's the one that the American people would turn to in their darkest hour? Isn't it people like Charlie Kirk who said that the reason that we have the Second Amendment right is to defend against authoritarianism and tyranny? The most ironic part is that the left has been trying for decades to fix America's broken gun laws and lack of gun control. And had the right not voted against it every single time, Charlie Kirk might still be alive. We advocated for the policies that would have saved his life, and he fought adamantly against them. And it wouldn't be so tragic if it was just his life that America lost. But as the media honed in on Charlie Kirk, turning his death into a political...
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. So, not even the second. So another funny thing about this is that not even the Second Amendment is being protected. Why? Because Trump is wanting to take guns from trans people. And where's it? All right, yeah, there. And Ronald Reagan did a similar thing, but with black people.
Yeah.
Or did a similar thing with like gun control, but with black people. Now Trump is doing the same, doing worse than that, and trying to take away guns from trans people. Because fuck them, because no, they are, because apparently they're mentally unstable. Their minds are corrupted by the woke mob or something. And so
Maybe
yeah,
it's
not
because-
even the Second Amendment. Yeah,
No,
not even the
just say real
Second
quick,
Amendment.
maybe it's because he knows that they're the people, they're the ones that are being dehumanized the most right now. So they're trying to like completely, they know they have the most, I don't know, they're trying to make them seem like the worst people ever, which is just like,
Yeah, they're trying to make them seem dangerous. Like that's why they went straight to, oh my god, it was a trans person before they even had anybody in custody.
all right, sorry, Ro, go ahead, man.
Yeah. That is the. But yeah. So Charlie. So Charlie. Yeah. Charlie Kirk is now. Charlie Kirk. The further, or the more worse this gets. Charlie Kirk just stands for nothing. Now just stands for nothing. Or it stands for hypocrisy, if not hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to mention, slightly off topic, but
Go for it.
I feel like all this fear, fear mongering, this means war. Oh my gosh, Charlie Kirk was such a hero. Where are the Epstein? Where are the Epstein files?
They're not letting him forget about that right now. You saw that he just arrived over in the UK in that huge projection they had on Windsor Castle, and they have this huge picture. It's like a I don't know. I guess it's cloth or something, but it was freaking huge, and they had that with a picture of him and Epstein together. So they're not letting him forget. Maybe over here we have a little bit of distraction from this and trying to get us to fight each other.
Yeah, this is another thing. Like this is another reason like this is scary. This time is scary right now, is because there's not a lot that Trump can do to distract from the Epstein files. Now, it probably might. Now all this fear mongering, all this Charlie Kirk being a martyr thing, or politicizing, or using Charlie Kirk's death for political gain. I fear that it might distract from that, because the Epstein files is the biggest. It is the biggest. Is the biggest and probably the best way we can fight against Trump right now.
Yeah, so Top G just said on September 10th, which was the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, that Senate Republicans narrowly blocked the push led by Senator Minority Chuck Schumer. So that vote did happen that day, and I think it went down by only 2 votes. Only 2 Republicans sided with the Democrats. All Democrats voted for it. Definitely a distraction from it.
Did Emily vote to pass it or not?
I don't remember the two. I don't remember the 2 names. I don't want to misstate and give incorrect information.
Can Top G let us know, or somebody?
Yeah, maybe Top G knows who the 2 Republicans were that sided with the Democrats.
Because keep in mind, Green was the one talking the whole time against Trump.
You're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're talking about?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, Marjorie. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was one of them. She was talking a lot of smack.
Let's see. Come on, Top G.
Let me look it up while y'all continue the conversation.
All right, go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, I guess we can finish up the video. It's just like a minute left. Let's see.
Football. There was literally another entirely avoidable school shooting just a few hundred miles away at Evergreen High School that happened within 60 seconds of Kirk's assassination. As the blood of children whose names the public will likely never know was still drying, Charlie was being hailed as a hero by the President of the United States of America. The same department whose first responders cleaned up the mess at Columbine when I was a kid are now dealing with another school shooting in their backyard. And this time, the media doesn't even air it long enough to send their typical empty platitudes or useless thoughts and prayers. But when someone like Charlie reaps the just deserts he sowed, he swiftly becomes a martyr on every channel because his life is politically expedient.
X-Shot Insanity takes.
Okay, that was the end of the video.
Yeah, so it was. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to answer the question real quick about the 2. So Top G had stated, but I looked it up also. So yeah, she wasn't one of them. She actually voted to block it. Yeah.
Well, what I tell you?
She's just a lot of talk, but that's it.
Interesting.
So Rand Paul, which is he's always been for it and against a lot of Trump's policies. Like he's voted against stuff on Trump before, and Josh Hawley.
Josh Hawley.
Yeah.
Where is he from?
From Missouri, it looks like. Yeah.
Missouri.
All right. Okay, I was gonna mention that if anybody doesn't follow Thomas Westbrook from Holy Kool-Aid, he's awesome. He's got a lot of really cool videos and very politically outspoken.
I'm very impressed with that video that you just showed us by him.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
it's
really
very
good.
very well
he
put
was
together.
really
Very good argument without coming off. I mean, basically giving all the underlying reason of why he doesn't have to mourn him or respect. I mean, it was great. I really enjoyed that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did an amazing job. He did an amazing job with that video. You should all you audience members, you should go follow him right now, or as I said, the woke mob will come get you.
The woke
Go follow
mob.
Holy Kool-Aid, or we will woke you up.
And as a bonus, if you do
We
follow
will make
him,
you drink the Kool-Aid.
That's perfect.
as a bonus, Joseph will give you a kiss
Free kisses for everybody if you go follow
Yeah.
Holy Roller.
on the lips.
You're wild, gay man. Third cousin, second cousin. Yeah. Hey, so y'all should give me a follow too. I haven't been very active, but I'm hoping to be more active in the coming days.
Yeah. What about you, Rogue Show? Are you planning on getting back on social?
Hopefully, I'm planning on talking about. I do want to cover Charlie Kirk's death. I do want to cover Charlie Kirk's death. Like,
Yeah, you should.
This would probably be one of the best times to do it, because now I know much more. Now I know a little more about this man's legacy, about this piece of shit's legacy.
Yeah, I hope that we had some viewers on tonight that maybe kind of were like on the fence post in the middle, where like, you know, they kind of been like, they didn't really know Charlie Kirk at all, but they've been following what the media, mainstream media has been saying, and maybe they watch Fox News or something, you know, and they're seeing him being praised. And I hope that maybe our stream got to some people that only knew him based through that, and we were able to shine a light on some of the things that he said and have stood for.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many videos out there by Kirk, super problematic messaging, so you wouldn't have any hard time finding that, finding content to put.
Well, I do have to say, the two videos excerpts from Holy Rollers. I mean, I'm definitely going to.
It's Holy Kool-Aid.
Oh, Holy Kool-Aid,
Kool-Aid.
Holy Rollers, Holy Rollers. Yeah, Holy Kool-Aid. My bad. It's been a long stream. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna look for those specific videos to share, because I haven't seen those being, you know, every time I'm, you know, just death scrolling on my Instagram feed or on my Facebook feed looking at reels, so many videos of him have popped up, but those two have not. So I'm gonna try to get those thrown into the algorithm.
Yeah, I think Seth Andrews did a really good video on Charlie Kirk as well, but it was a little bit longer, so we don't have time for that one right now.
Yeah, I did see he posted it. I haven't watched it either.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna give my closing thoughts, and then you guys can go ahead and give yours if you have any. So, for me, I have to say that Charlie Kirk's death wasn't a victory. Like, they made it seem when they were claiming that it was the liberals that wanted the victory, you know, to defeat the bad guys. It wasn't that, and it wasn't a victory for either side right now, because it's caused more division, more tension. It's made trans people feel more targeted once again for no fucking reason other than the fact that they exist. His death shouldn't be celebrated, but it also hasn't solved any problems. So if anything, it's made things a lot worse. And his hatred has spread enough that they're not gonna have a hard time finding a new Charlie to lead Turning Point USA. His wife made a statement. She clearly said that she will carry on his work. So if we want a better future, we have to build it on truth and empathy and justice, but not vigilante justice. Not by wishing death to our enemies, but by working towards a world where fewer people are radicalized so far right or so far left, where fewer lives are cut short, including that of children, and where every person's dignity is respected. Keep holding those humanist values up. So, anybody else have anything, any closing thoughts,
Man,
suggestions,
I don't
ideas,
know. I
advice?
can't top that, but I mean I do have some stuff to say. But
Okay,
that was like
go
that
for it.
was that was spot on. I mean, I just feel that everybody needs to stay engaged, as we have been from the first day of this administration. But I think we have to even be more engaged than you were. Try to put a little bit more time in it. Don't be led off or thrown off to not protest and keep going to marches and so forth, because they might scare you into thinking you're going to get arrested, or they're going to have a crackdown and you're going to be a terrorist if you go out to speak your words against this administration. Don't let them keep you from doing that. I agree with AJ 100%. We don't need violence. I want to see the same continued approach that we've had by having these large gatherings of people that are pushing for everybody to be treated as humans. We got to fight for any group of people that are being targeted to be dehumanized by this administration. We need to be their voice. We need to come together so they have numbers, because as we had talked about earlier in the show, they start by targeting the smallest group, and once they make that okay and get everybody to accept that, then they move on to the next group, and then you get that mindset that we don't have any power. So just stay engaged, everybody. I hope everybody really enjoyed the show. It's been great hanging out. Again, like I said, maybe subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to be posting more content, because most of my stuff will probably be more related to political agenda and political topics. So yeah, that's it.
What are we
Okay.
doing over here?
Your turn.
All right.
Yeah. Everybody
Roadshow.
else, Damon? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say you did great. Basic human and cognito echo. Y'all kind of summarized everything I want to say. No violence. Violence is never the answer. Also, if you're coming from a area where you just don't know certain things or you don't believe certain things, just go up to a person and be very open minded. And I feel like at this point, at this stage in our country, we're at the I don't think anybody would mind if you go up to them and ask them what's their struggles, their story, and why they're liberal or Republican. We need to talk more. And I feel like once we talk more, we can possibly advance as a society. But we still have a long journey, everybody. So, yeah, just keep on going. I believe in y'all.
Rogue Show, what do you think?
I mean, I think this whole thing is just disgusting. Like, it is. I'm okay. The first thing I recommend: do not mourn Charlie Kirk. Do not mourn Charlie Kirk at all. you can feel bad about his kids, who unfortunately watched him die brutally, I might add. But don't mourn Charlie Kirk, because like the holy Kool-Aid said, there are people that Trump and Republicans just completely sidestep, that tragically lost their lives, or maybe even died in more brutal deaths. No, it's disgusting that nobody talks about those. Nobody gives those deaths the equal amount of treatment that they do for Charlie Kirk's. Or and another thing, do not let this distract from the Epstein files. For the love of the God you may or may not believe in, do not let this distract you. Because the Epstein files, as I mentioned, I can't stress enough, are going to be the most important thing. Is going to be the most important thing that we need to release. Also, keep protesting.
Even Charlie wanted it that way. Even he wanted the files released. So
Yeah.
that's the irony on that.
No, okay. We don't want any fucking. We're not putting up. We're not gonna put up with Donald King Trump. We want just probably a president or something. But yeah, Charlie Kirk's legacy is trash. You shouldn't mourn him. And stay strong, because this is going to be tougher. This is going to be one of the toughest times for no good reason. Like the Tyler Robinson was a far right Christian conservative, and shit. But hey, the liberals still did it anyways. Yeah. Yeah, just stay strong. That's what I have to say.
Nice, Rogue Show. Nice.
Really good message. I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all sharing that. All right, we're at 2.5 hours, so we can wrap it up now. Everybody follow everybody's channels. Remember to like the videos, comment for the algorithms.
No, it's been great. It's been a great show. I enjoyed hanging out with you, Rogue Show. It's been a while since we got together and had a show, so it was definitely due. And Damien the Fisherman, hey, look at these elbows, man.
I kept on looking at your earlobes. I kept on looking at your earlobes, man, during the whole stream.
Okay.
Don't get me canceled. No pornography on YouTube. YouTube, behave.
Thanks for hosting the show, AJ, as always.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for your time. Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe, and be a good person. Be a good human being. That's all it is. That's all it's required over here.
Find more ways to human.
Exactly. Thank you.
Love that.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.